Hello everyone, Derek here with Get Lost Trails. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are headed out on another hike here in Sedona, Arizona. Headed up to the Vultee Arch. Getting into the trailhead itself is going to be a bit of an adventure, hence the choice of transportation today. We're going to be headed up Dry Creek Road, also known as Vultee Arch Road. And I'm sure it has a Forest Service designation as well. Right now, we're just taking a bit of a scenic route to get there. Thanks for coming along for the ride. I hope you enjoy it.
I'm camping over on Forest Service Road 525, so I'll be taking a bit of a back way in there. As a bonus, it's quite a bit more scenic than coming in from town. This is going to be Vultee Pass Road, which we'll go over and connect to Dry Creek Road, passing along several other trailheads on the way. If you happen to be in town, you're going to hop right on Dry Creek Road north. It's going to be the second stoplight from the west edge of town there. After a little bit of gravel, the road turns into pavement. They route to the Erie Trail off to the south there, then passing Bear Mountain and Doe Mountain trailheads, eventually coming across the Fay Canyon trailhead there, reaching over to the very popular Boynton Canyon Trail, as you can see by all the vehicles. And then all these, this is the Mescal trailhead area. Pretty popular route, as you can see today. This is a weekend. We are getting pretty close to the road that goes up to Vultee Arch, also a very popular route up to Devil's Bridge, of course. This still is technically Boynton Pass Road. Dry Creek Road is kind of a weird one. You turn north at the stoplight there, head out of town, and it just seamlessly transitions into Boynton Pass Road if you stay on the pavement. Dry Creek Road itself comes up here a ways, cuts off to the northeast, pretty much immediately turns into a four-wheel drive road. Once you turn off the main road there where Boynton Pass and Dry Creek Road meet, there's just a short stretch of pavement, a small parking area, which is usually full of people headed up Devil's Bridge, and then it turns into this unmaintained Forest Service road. Now this road, it shows up on Google Maps, but don't think you can drive your Prius up it. They've intentionally piled some rocks there where you get onto it just to prevent people from taking cars up it, I'm sure. It's not a terrible road, but it is fairly rocky in places. And, you need a high clearance vehicle of some sorts to get up it. If it's dry, you probably don't necessarily need to use full drive to get up it, but yeah, don't drive a car up it. It'll be about 4.2 miles or 6 3/4 kilometers up to Vultee Arch trailhead on this road. If you just happen to be going to Devil's Bridge, it's 1.2 miles or about 2 kilometers up to that trailhead. I have covered Devil's Bridge in another video, so be sure to check the link for that. Totally possible to hike both these in a day. I just didn't want to hike to Devil's Bridge today because of the amount of traffic on a weekend. You might be watching this and thinking you could ride a lot faster down this road, and that's probably true. I don't typically ride that fast, but especially right here on this, there's just so many people out walking and a lot of pink Jeeps as well today.
As you can see, pretty much everybody's turning in there to go to Devil's Bridge. Traffic should thin out considerably past that. The road isn't too terrible. The key to success is picking your lines. And that might have not been the best one, but there we go anyway. There's Pink Jeep Central. Bit of a rock garden here. Not too bad, just pick your lines carefully. Just about to the Vultee Arch trailhead. Ooh, this section of road is a little on the rough side. I don't know where the best line is, but yeah. Let's try not to hit that one. Okay. There we go. We've made it to Vultee Arch trailhead here at the end of Dry Creek Road. It is about 4 1/4 miles, 6.8 kilometers on Dry Creek Road. The trail itself is 3.6 miles or 5 3/4 kilometers up to Vultee Arch. The trail does continue on past that
over Sterling Pass and over to Manzanita Campground in Oak Creek Canyon on Highway 87A. So it would be possible to hike from there. There is limited parking at that area, but of course it's right on the highway. You would be going over Sterling Pass though. I'm not sure how difficult that is. I'm guessing it's a little more elevation gain than this. This one is not a lot. I think it's like 600 feet, whatever that would be in meters. I'll throw that on the screen for you. But I'm gonna grab a bite of lunch and head out on the trail. Just after 1 p.m., finished up my sandwich there, getting ready to head out up to Vultee Arch. As you can see right now, I am the only person at the trailhead parking. That's not to say we couldn't meet somebody. Somebody could have walked clear up Dry Creek Road, or somebody could be coming from the east side at Manzanita Campground over Sterling Pass. But it should be a pretty nice, peaceful hike for a Saturday afternoon. Here in mid-December, certainly a lot less chaotic than the hike to Devil's Bridge. I will say Devil's Bridge is quite an iconic thing to see, and if you come here, you really do need to go do it, I would say. But don't do it on a Saturday if you don't have to. If at all possible, do it first thing weekday morning, and you might enjoy it a little bit. The trail does almost immediately enter the wilderness, so motorized vehicles, even bicycles, are prohibited on the trail. You could ride your bicycle or even your e-bike, or basically anything really here in Arizona, up to the trailhead and hike from there. Yep, I'm hiking in the motorcycle boots. I didn't bother to bring proper hiking boots for this, being a fairly short hike. They're not too bad to walk in though if you just loosen the buckles. The weather is fairly mild today, being December, probably around the 50-degree mark. But as we walk up Sterling Canyon here, we do have quite a bit of shade. So this might be a decent hike too for warmer weather, not having the direct sun beating down on you. Some amazing, beautiful hikes around Sedona, like Mescal or some of the others, beautiful red rocks all throughout, but they are very exposed. About 1.8 miles, 2.9 kilometers into the hike, you'll reach the fork to Vultee Arch. It's gonna be off to your left, continuing to the north. Shouldn't be too much further and we'll be up at the arch. Not too far after the turn up to Vultee Arch, you do have a nice view of it from down below. Tell me in the comments, do you think that that's actually an arch? Or is that technically by definition a bridge? Somebody had added to the directional sign down there, "It's a bridge, damn it." Nicely done, I might add, not like in a graffiti way. It kind of does seem like that should be a bridge. As I was standing down below, admiring the view of Vultee Arch, the sunlight glimmering off something caught my eye. There's a plaque up here. Vultee Arch is named after Gerald Jerry Vultee, who was a pioneer in aviation. Him and his wife died in a plane crash near this site in 1938. As expected, the final approach up towards the arch gets a little more technical, although it's very doable. It's just kind of steep. And there it is, Vultee Arch. Well, now that I've got my breathing under control, we're up here at Vultee Arch. Pretty neat to get up here. Not sure if it's possible to get out on it. Let's go find out. Well, if you lose your footing, it's a long way down. About 2.3 miles, 3¾ kilometers, we've made it up to Vultee Arch. Pretty nice view from up here, if I do say so myself. Well, as much fun as this has been, it's time to head back. It is an in-and-out hike, so we will be returning the same way we came. Be sure to stick around though for my final mileage and concluding thoughts. Getting back to the main trail here, leaving Vultee Arch behind us. Further up the trail is Sterling Pass. A little bit further that direction, and also a little bit more difficult up and over Sterling Pass compared to the trail from the end of Dry Creek Road there. Although the advantage of coming over Sterling Pass, of course, is you don't have to have a special vehicle to start the hike. Whereas if you come up Dry Creek Road, you either have to have a vehicle that's capable of making it up Dry Creek Road, high clearance, 4-wheel drive, ATV, dual sport, dirt bike, you know, whatever floats your boat, or you've got to walk that distance up Dry Creek Road. And that would make this quite a long hike, but I'm sure some people do it. Returning back to the trailhead here with 4.3 miles, just under 7 kilometers, 2.5 hours, including my wandering around and time spent at the arch. You could probably shave about a half an hour off that if you just got in and out of there. But it's been a fun hike. I sure hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, be sure to hit that thumbs up button to let me know. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss my upcoming adventure videos. And I still have to ride out of here, so if you want to see a little bit of that, stick around just a little longer. But if not, thanks for joining me and have a good day. Now that we've made it to Vultee Arch, we have an airplane to annoy us.
We made it, guys.